Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos on makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want, and I hope you can see how dirty my glasses are. So we're just going to take those off now. Today I'm going to do Get Ready With Me, where I just kind of like talk about life and like what I've been up to and just like my thoughts on some stuff. I mentioned some things briefly in maybe it was a favorites video, where I also gave like a mini life update. Anyway, other stuff has happened since then. I am going to warn you now, my computer is like burning up over there. So I apologize if you can hear that fan. I am going to be sweating like I'm on the surface of the sun. This room is already hot because it's the room that faces west. So we get the hottest sun and most recent sun, and these lights are also incredibly hot. I'm going to start with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer because I haven't used it in a hot minute. I've been mainly using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin, but I don't remember the rest of that. Some kind of serum, because my skin was so dry. I think I was over exfoliating it chemically. That really helped, and then I couldn't stop using it, but now it's so warm and my skin is fairly hydrated. I'm gonna push this into my pores now that it's spread out. I love this primer a lot. It just was not working in the winter. Speaking of, I've changed my skincare routine up a bit. I need to do like a skincare video, how I maintain keeping my acne mostly under control. Obviously there's no cure to like stop acne forever, but I think I got it pretty under control. So I need to do that video, but last year I had added in, spaced out, retinol last May, and then in like the end of September, beginning of October, I added in vitamin C, and I think that's just way too much for my skin, and I think based on some of the things I was reading, I think I'm just going to give up the retinol because I think it's just going to be too much for me. Oh man, this is oily. It's so hot. I'm using the Becca, what exactly is the name? Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I just call it the Becca Corrector, so I needed the actual name. I saw more results with like my skin texture with vitamin C than I did with retinol. All I noticed the retinol really doing was just drying my skin out, and I know that's normal, but it's like my skin didn't want to adjust to it even after a year, and I was only using it like one night a week. So I'm trying to just be okay with aging, which is difficult when you become chronically ill as a child because you feel like you lose your youth. So like aging kind of freaks you out a little bit, and I'm trying to get over that, so I don't need to worry too much about fine lines, you know. I'm just gonna focus more on enjoying life, and like I said, I noticed a lot more smoothing and brightness from the vitamin C than the retinol, so I'm just gonna stick with that. And hopefully this winter my skin doesn't freak out. Oh boy, that's way more than I wanted. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. The green one. I don't need to look like a witch from the Wizard of Oz. But it looks like that's what is gonna happen. Okay, I'm using the Rare Beauty foundation, a 170W. It's the only foundation they have. It's not the tinted moisturizer, it's the actual foundation. I like this foundation a lot, but I don't think I'm going to repurchase it because I don't like that I can't just pump it out. So I can't make sure that I'm getting the exact same amount on both sides. It's a beautiful finish though. I understand she made this so it was more accessible to people with disabilities, so no shade to the packaging. I don't really care for it. I don't know. Never say never, because I see it on my skin and I'm like, just make do with it because like it's so pretty. So since the last time I mentioned a life update, I went and had my physical, and I mentioned some new and or worsening, I just took that right off, symptoms I've been having. So on top of my regular blood work, my doctor did the basic autoimmune workup because I have a lot, well actually I have all of the symptoms of this thing called Sjogren's, I think that's how you say it, Sjogren's syndrome. And when I showed him my list, that was exactly the conclusion he came up with as well. However, the initial blood work, the antibody something or other, ANA, came back negative, which kind of made me like, okay, well, what is it if it's not that? Because like I have every symptom of it. What else like mimics that illness specifically? And there isn't really anything else. So I did a little looking, and it does say that I think there's like a 48% chance or something that like you could still have it, and that test is just like not correct. There are two other antibody tests that are specifically for Sjogren's, and just because you test negative on the ANA doesn't mean those won't be positive. So that's something that still needs to be explored. Now, there's an eyelash on my face. There aren't a ton of treatment options for Sjogren's. Like, it's not like there's one magic medication, I guess is the word. It's more, in a sense, like treating some symptoms, and it's the same way you would treat any other autoimmune. You know, there's some specific medications, steroids, etc. to try to like get your immune system to calm down. I have essentially started a diagnostic process again, which has been a source of anxiety for me because, you know, it was so hard the first round to get anyone to take me seriously. They thought I was too young and I just wanted to skip school, or I didn't want a job even though, you know, my grades were really good and I had all these college applications and I wanted to go into nursing, and I went and got all of my shots to start the program because you have to have like extra vaccines to work in around like hazardous body waste. So it's like, if that was true, why would I go do all those things? But that's besides the point. That now it's like I realize I have kind of a leg to stand on, as I'm not a kid anymore, so I'm not trying to get out of school. I'm already too disabled to work and haven't worked, so it's not like I'm trying to get out of a job. or anything like that. So also, none of the symptoms I have could be treated with a medication that would be abused, so I'm not seeking that either, although I think those medications are very valid and they are helpful for plenty of people. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for actual, man, this is like glued on here. Oh, I forgot to mention, I used the Gimme Brow in shade 3, and to spot conceal, I used the Creamy Soft Matte Complete Concealer, I'm just making names up, by NARS, in the shade Madeleine. Now I'm trying to get my brow setter open, and it's like set itself closed. I think this one is there it goes, almost gone anyway. Nobody's out here trying to abuse immunosuppressants or treatment for migraines, because I'm sure some people would think, oh, migraines, you want like pain medication. The thing with migraines is pain medication doesn't work. I mean, I don't know, like, that nothing on the planet works, but you kind of have to treat the neurological part. You know, there's injection, because migraines are kind of complicated. They don't know 100% what causes them, but one of the things they've kind of noticed, this eyebrow is just doing weird things, is that it could be like a lack of serotonin. So it's like an abusable medication is not going to help me. So like, that's not why I'm here. I am here because I want to get parts of my life back. So going on to that, I have a couple neurological symptoms, but specifically the migraines and how frequent they're becoming. I had one that lasted a week in May, and then I've been getting at least one a week, the beginning of May, I should say. Then I've been getting at least one a week. On Monday this week, today's Wednesday, I had one that was like awful. I couldn't see correctly most of the day. What's happening is before, during, and after, my eyes won't focus. It's slightly blurry, I suppose you would say, but it is just very much like, if you've ever had your eyes dilated, it's like, you know, the last half hour where you're almost there, but not quite. That's what it's like. And it, besides the pain, that's incredibly frustrating, because I'm just losing days of my life having to sit in the dark or use earplugs or do all of these things, which I just need an answer. I need some kind of treatment. And there's so many treatments there. Like I said, injections, different types of medications that can help you prevent migraines, but also you can take it like during a migraine. I noticed one of my main triggers is like weather change. I can't control the weather. This is Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. I like this because it is a colored base. Colored as in like flesh colored. You could probably accomplish this with concealer, but concealer for me doesn't exactly work. We are using the Malibu Barbie ColourPop. I haven't used this before, so I got this like on clearance when I ordered the Alice in Wonderland stuff. This just says like summer, and I'm in the mood for some summer colors. So I want to use the orange, the pink, and the yellow. Start with the yellow, which is West Coast. So I have an amazing relationship with my primary care doctor, and he has been in the business a while, has a lot of doctor friends, some he went to college with, some he trained with, met at conferences, etc. So I very much value his recommendations, because if he likes them, I'll like them. Because he is very good at his job, but he's also just like a great person in general. He's very nice, he's very caring. his patient's well-being is his number one priority, and being chronically ill, it is incredibly hard to find that. So I'm always nervous going to new doctors, but I always trust the people he sends me to. And he recommended a specific neurologist. This office is a private practice that has no less than 20 neurologists. And I called and set up the appointment, and they're like, well, we have an appointment tomorrow at 9. I called on Monday. And I was like, oh, I would like to see this specific doctor. And they're like, oh, well, August 11th is his first appointment availability. And while these migraines are wrecking everything, I want to see the doctor that my doctor recommended because I just do. I have a family friend who goes to this practice for her migraines as well, and she's very happy with like all of the staff there, so quite helpful, but I just want to hold out. My best friend recommended I start keeping a headache journal. Her husband did that when he was getting migraines, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, this will give me time to really document, see if I could figure out any other trigger besides the weather, because I get them sometimes when it's not related. So I'm wondering, is it like physical stress, you know, like a certain type of exercise? I seem to have my emotional stress mostly under control, so I don't think it's that. I know sometimes there just isn't a cause. I know it's not food related because I've already eliminated that kind of stuff. But I figure I could go in with a little more information, having like 2 months to keep track. And I'm going in with the orange, which is SoCal. Okay, what else have I been up to? Honestly, like, trapped in the house because of those awful wildfires in Canada. The smoke was drifting everywhere. I haven't seen many updates on that. I hope everyone is okay and things are under control. But as I have pretty intense asthma, I have it under control with medications and stuff, but if you have asthma, you know it takes 30 seconds to flare it up. Like, it's next to nothing to cause problems. So you have to be incredibly cautious. I have monthly visits with my respiratory therapist. I use a device called a Luna that, as long as I remember, I use it every day to test my lung function and track my symptoms. And my respiratory therapist monitors that daily, and it is sent to my asthma doctor as well. And she called right as like those wildfires were happening, checking on her patients, and, you know, remind me to stay in the house, use the air purifier, if you have to go outside, wear a mask, etc. So, you know, kind of stuck in the house for a while, which was a bummer. Obviously, not downplaying the severity of people who are like living right in the fires, but it was very nice weather days, so it's kind of a bummer to be stuck inside. But to reiterate, I hope everyone is okay, and I understand that small problems, not being able to have the windows open when people were losing like their homes. So I'm not really gonna complain much about that, you know. Oh, what else have I been up to? You know, yard work this time of year. The lack of rain has been kind of nice because it means the weeds aren't going bananas and there's a little less for me to do out there. I could just enjoy it and not have to stress my body out. I didn't have any projects planned this year. because inflation. You know. Okie dokie. Kind of went a little ham with those. Now I want to go in with the pink, which is Best Coast. We'll see if I wreck everything or if this looks nice. Also, I'm sorry if I'm covered in sweat. It's probably like 83 degrees in this room because I have the door closed and the lights, and it's a lot. Something I was spending a lot of time doing. I had so much downtime from these migraines. If you get migraines, I'm sorry. It's terrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. You know exactly how much time you lose. So I've had to spend so much of my time playing catch up from all the things I couldn't do with the headaches. So chores and things like that, which is kind of why I've been absent. My free time was, if you saw my favorites video, Vanderpump Rules. Like, when I was catching up on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know, they kind of like had an episode where they like forced you to watch part of Vanderpump Rules, and I was like, that's fine, I'll get to it. It was on my list, but I've been working through the city things, and then Scandal happened, and I dropped everything, and it was all about that show. And if you like reality TV and weird drama, I'm telling you that show is the best reality TV I've ever watched. I don't watch a lot of like the like Bachelors or any of those like dating shows. That's not really my thing. I don't really like Survivor. I don't know. I love The Housewives. The Housewives is my jam. So if you like that kind of stuff, highly recommend. I'm going to use the pink all over my lid, the Follow the Sun. The NYX glitter glue, as always. I had like 3 dentist appointments. So in April, right before my birthday, I had my cleaning, just a normal thing. And I knew I had a couple cavities left from various complications. And so like at my cleaning, they're like, okay, we need to do these last 3 fillings. But I wanted a bit of a break because it's my birthday month and I already had a ton of appointments that month. My yearly asthma thing, and I was there for hours doing like testing and stuff like that. So I just scheduled it for May. So I went and I had my fillings done, and then I got home and I realized my retainer wasn't really fitting. And I don't know what happened. So I had to schedule an appointment to go back a 3rd time so we could adjust my retainer, and that took a little bit. We don't know what happened because it wasn't, I thought at first it was like the filling made it fit weird, but that wasn't it. It was like bent a little bit. It was easy for him to just put back in place because I have like the metal retainers. I have this habit, I don't know if anyone else does this. Sometimes I just like get uncomfortable with something in my sleep and like remove it. So I sleep with earplugs because I'm a light sleeper, but there are times where I will just like take one or both out in my sleep, and I have on a couple occasions woken up with my retainers out. Like I just got sick of wearing them, or I dreamt about removing them or something. So I'm wondering if I accidentally like pulled it out improperly and like bent it. I don't know. That was a whole thing. I've run out of stuff to talk about, and I'm not done with my makeup yet. Let's talk about Instagram. So I don't know, I don't think it has been fixed yet, but can anyone tell me what's happening with that? I'm going to go in with the yellow again under my eyes with a different brush. I've been afraid to post anything on there. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the other... Oh no, I need to do concealer. Hold on. You saw the other day, like I mentioned not posting anything because it's a mixture of people losing the ability to comment, not being able to like anything. There's some people who are getting locked out of their account. There's some people who have had their account deleted, and I'm just scared. I don't have that many followers on there, but it's something I've had for a really long time, and I have a lot of people on it, and I don't want to lose any of that stuff. So I've been incredibly nervous to post anything and get, like, banned. I truly wish they would, like, make some kind of comment about, like, oh, we're working on it or something. I saw somebody post that they contacted Instagram about it, and the prompt that people are getting, I think I put too much concealer. Oops. Is like, you bought followers, you bought likes, you gave your password to a third party, blah, blah, blah. And that is literally not the case for any of the people this has happened to. It's happening to everybody if they make a feed post. And when somebody contacted Facebook, or, I mean, essentially it is Facebook, contacted Instagram was basically like, well, don't buy followers and this wouldn't happen. It's kind of like they're just blaming people for something that is clearly their fault. The whole thing is just incredibly strange. While this is drying, I'm going to do my bronzer. I'm doing all powder because it's so hot. I don't need anything to slide off my face. The Jaclyn Hill pressed bronzer and vitamin D. Oof. I don't know what just happened with my voice. I have not really been active on Instagram except in the stories, and it's kind of unfortunate. My hair is sticking in my sweat because I use Instagram a lot. It's like my main thing. I will say I don't use the feed posts too often anymore, mostly to talk about like new videos or something, but it is unfortunate because a lot of other people who I interact with are just not using Instagram because they're like banned. The whole thing is just really weird, and Instagram already wasn't in an amazing place. Like, they've just not done a good job keeping creators or treating creators well. The algorithm is even more confusing than YouTube on what it wants and like what it doesn't like. So it's just a pain in the behind. And also it's super hard to grow in general as a content creator. But since they've like changed a bunch of rules on Instagram, it definitely has been even more hard. I haven't even really been trying to grow on that platform because I literally have zero idea what they want. I mean, I think they want like reels. And I'm trying to learn these new things, but oops. I am an old lady. You have to be patient with me to learn these things. Now I'm going in with the yellow. I've officially run out of things to say. You know, when you are disabled, your life is not super exciting, so there's never that much to talk about. I love vlogging, and my vlogs seem to be something you guys like to see, but I don't do them too frequently because, like, I literally do the same thing every day. And by that, I mean I'm laying around on the couch or in bed in, like, comfy clothes, just doing basically nothing. And it's like, how many vlogs can you realistically make about that before everyone is bored? I can't even drive, so even if I do go somewhere, I like to keep some privacy and not film everywhere I go. But I'm also like with someone else all the time because I can't go places alone. It is not safe for me to drive because I just faint too frequently. And it's unpredictable. Like, I'll be fine for months and then faint. I'm gonna go on my inner corner with Cali Girl. This is from the Alice in Wonderland collection with ColourPop. It is Silence. I think that goes well. Maybe. It's a little more watermelon than pink. But the other pink I have is cool toned. And these eyes are warm. A little more watermelon corally than pink. What if I put a pink over it? I can't see without my glasses. What about this? I can't see. Oh, actually, that's perfect. See, you guys, I can't see anything. Am I gonna look like I'm sick? Or is it gonna look cute? We'll find out. Okay, let's use Wet n Wild Blossom Glow. Okay, I'm just cutting to finish this. My battery's dying anyway. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. The mascara I used is Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. I only put it on my top lashes. My lips are MAC Down to an Art, blotted until it was a little more sheer, and then the Tom Ford Gloss Luxe in Inhibition. I can't see the final look yet, so it's gonna be a big reveal to me in my dirty glasses. My hair is a mess from the humidity and I'm sweating, so I don't know why I even bothered to make it look nice. I lost my necklace. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what you've been up to down in the comments. If you have any video requests, I would love to hear them. I have a few things planned, some chronic illness content, some makeup content, and I'm hoping that I have enough migraine-free days to actually get them done on time. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.